So you're tired of feeling broke. You're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You are tired of feeling like you're barely getting by. You sit down, you write your bills, you do your best to stick to a budget or a spending plan. And yet, every single time, you end up feeling the same broke, like you're living paycheck to paycheck, and like you're barely getting by. I have been there, I have lived it more times than I like to mention, but I've been there. I have lived it, and it was probably the most overwhelming and stressful time of my young adult life until I finally figured out a way to put a budget together and then stick to the budget, managing my money with control and clarity. Because what I'm going to be sharing with you in this 5 video series, part one of a 5 video series, is my exact step-by-step method that I use to finally figure out how to budget, and not just budget, not just put numbers on a paper, but really budget and then stick to the budget that really helped transform my financial situation to where I was no longer feeling like I was broke all the time, feeling like I was living paycheck to paycheck all the time, and feeling like I was barely getting by. I was tired of that. I was done with that. And I finally got to a place where I figured out how to overcome or break through the budgeting issues that I was having. So before we continue, welcome to my channel. If you are returning, or if you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jamila Davis Williams. I am a personal financial coach, and here I help women live a life free of financial stress by taking control of their money so they can create or live a life that brings them peace and freedom. So again, this is part one of a 5-part video series where we're going to go step by step, learning how to create a budget that really fits your life. Budgets are not a one size fit all. It's impossible. What works for my household may not work for yours, which is why if you do this process, you'll be able to create a budget that fits your life, your family, your circumstances, whatever they may be. And so here is one of the main mistakes that, as I'm coaching the women in the boot camp or my one-on-one coaching, that always comes up. I've tried budgeting before. I can never stick to it, or it doesn't work for me. I always seem to do it for 2 weeks really good or a month really good, and I fall back into my way. So really, they're just saying budgeting fails for them. And when we go through why it's failing, one thing I can see, and I've seen it time and time, and I hear it, and I've seen it in the coaching, is that they're putting numbers on paper that look really good based on what they hope to spend and not what they've actually spent or what they're actually spending the cost of their lives, right? So many times before we can start budgeting, we got to go look at what we've done, look at the past. I know many of us don't want to look at that because we want to move forward, but most times you can't move forward before you can kind of see, how did I get here? And so the first step that we're going to talk about today is looking back at how you've already spent money so you can see the habits, the behaviors, correct whatever needs to be correct so that you can build a budget that best fits your life. So, those bank statements that you don't look at, you don't open, you don't even know where they are. Some of you get them electronically, some of you still get them by mail, but you don't look at them, you toss them. We need to look at those. And I want you to go and pull the last 2 months. So right now we're in July. So we're going to look at May and June bank statements. If you're looking at this in August, you're going to look at June and July. If you're September, you're going to be looking at July and August. You're going to look at the previous 2 months of spending so you can kind of see what you've been doing with your money. So it gives you a base, a foundation on where to build from, and you can see what you need to adjust, what you need to change to make sure that you are able to reach your financial goals, whatever they are. Most of the people that I've been coaching, these two same financial goals always come up. Either they want to build savings so that they have money for emergencies, or they want to pay off debt. Those are the two main ones that come up a lot. That might not be your situation. You may say, okay, I have enough money saved, I don't have debt, but I want to save money for a trip for my family to take next year. Whatever your goal is, starting with this foundation of looking back of how we've spent money and then moving forward is going to make sure that you build a budget that fits your life and you can reach those goals that you have set. Again, budgeting is not wishful thinking. You can't pull numbers out of the air and think that they're going to work for you if for the last 6 months, a year, you've been doing things a certain way. You can't go and say, I've been spending, let's say, $500 on groceries for my household, and then now on this budget, you want to put $250. No, you can't just do that, because if you've been spending $500, has it first worked for your family? Are you throwing away food? Are you just finding yourself going back to get more later on? Like, you need to kind of know first what I've done so I can see what I need to change, what has worked, what isn't working, and make the necessary adjustments. So we are going to first have you get a pen, a notebook, and then you're going to get your two most recent bank statements. And I'm going to say you might want to get some highlighters. If you're like me, I am a pen and paper girl. So I print my bank statement so that I can actually look and highlight the categories. Now, as we're doing that on your notebook, and this is just what I do because it makes it easy for me. So I want to give you step by step what I do. In my notebook, I make 4 columns. So I just take lines, go straight down. So until I get 4 columns. My first column is my needs column. My second column is my wants column. The third column is savings. The fourth column is my giving. That's because I'm a tithe payer. I pay tithes. That's my fourth column. And so as I am getting my categories together. So again, last 2 bank statements, your highlighters, your notebook, and we're going to start categorizing in each of those columns what needs to go there. So in our needs columns, we're going to look at the things we need to have in order for us to survive, to live. Of course, that is shelter, right? So that's either our rent or mortgage payment. Utilities, we all need electricity. We all need heat or air, depending on where you live, and you need water, right? Utilities. Some people will put in there their cell phone, their Wi-Fi, because to them that is a need. They need that to communicate with their kids' school, whatever the case may be, to do things in the house. So Wi-Fi, cell phone can also go there. If you have a landline still, that goes there as well. Your groceries, transportation. So whether you take public transportation, ride share, you need gas for the car, that goes there. Your insurance goes there because if you have a vehicle, you need car insurance. If you have renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance that's not included in your rent or mortgage, that's going to be something that you need to protect your assets. So insurance. So that's kind of what we're going to put in our needs column, right? The second column, our wants column. These are going to be things like dining out, shopping, subscriptions, nail appointments, hair appointments, spa treatments, ATM withdrawals that we can't track anywhere else, entertainment. So if you're hanging out with friends and you're going to concerts or movies, or you're, just hanging out and I'm gonna say partying, but I can't think of the word. I don't want to say bar hopping, but you know what I mean. Hanging out, and it's entertainment as well. Those are the kind of things that goes into your wants column. And then in your debt column, that's your credit cards, payments, your loans, student loans, car loans, going to go into your debt payments. You're going to calculate, those monthly payments for those 2 months. And then your savings, What if you're putting anything in savings, what's that amount, even if it's not consistently, but if you know that you're transferring money to your savings, put that dollar amount on there. And if you're a tithe payer or you give offering, make sure you put that in that column. And then what we're going to do is, now that we've kind of categorized those things and sorted those spending out as far as how our paychecks come in and how we're spending the money, I want you to reflect on these 4 things. Number 1, which category feels too high? Right? You're looking at like, wow, I spent that. What category surprised you most? And it might be the one where you're like, I didn't know I was spending that, right? So that's 2. So what category feels too high? What surprised you the most? Number 3, what category can you pause temporarily to achieve your goal? So whether that's building your savings or paying off debt, what category or categories can you pause temporarily to help you achieve your goal? And the 4th thing is, what can you reduce or eliminate completely, whether it's for a short time or permanently, to help you accelerate your goals, meaning to help you reach building your savings faster or help you pay off your debt faster. So those are the 4 things that once you look at these numbers, where can I pause, reduce, or eliminate, whether completely, permanently, or temporarily, so that I can build my savings or pay off debt. And those 2 are not your, if they are not part of your goals, but your goal is to plan this trip for your family next year, to buy a second property, to buy a home. If that's your goal, then I still want you to put that goal on paper and then say, here is, what can I pause, reduce, eliminate to help me achieve that goal? So this exercise can feel overwhelming. It can sometimes bring on guilt or shame. We don't want any of that. What we want is for you to see these numbers so that you can now say, okay, now that I know what I'm spending, I can now take control of it because I have the clarity needed. And now I can use this as a foundation, a base to start building a budget that's going to fit my real life, but also help me achieve the goals that I have set. So now that you've reviewed your spending and got those numbers together, you're ready for step number 2. That's going to be in video 2, which is going to be tomorrow. That's all about calculating the average spending and then also looking at where we can pause, reduce, and eliminate so that you can stop guessing and start planning, creating that budget that's really going to work for your life. That's coming up in the next video. So be sure to hit subscribe and tap the bell so that you don't miss it. And if you want help walking through this process step by step with templates, examples, and coaching, you can join the budgeting bootcamp today. The link is in the description. The next class starts June 21st through the June 21st through the 25th, and it is an evening class. It is virtual, hour and 15 minutes per day for 5 days. So it don't even take a lot out of your time, and you can do this from the comfort of your home. So be sure to click the link in my description regarding the budgeting bootcamp to find more information. So what are we doing? We're looking at the last 2 bank statements, the most 2 recent from the current month that you're in. So right now we're in July, we're looking at May and June. If you're looking at this at a later date, the 2 previous months. And then we're going to create those columns, the needs column, the want column, the debt payment column, and then the savings and giving. Those kind of go together. So 4 columns. You're going to have your notebook or spreadsheet, whatever works best for you, your highlighters and your pen or pencil, and you're going to start categorizing each of those columns, what goes into each column, and you're going to add them up. Once you add them up, you're going to look at What feels too high? What surprised you the most? What can you pause temporarily so that you can achieve whatever that goal is you set? Or what can you reduce or eliminate completely, even if it's for a little while, to help you accelerate, to help you reach that goal a lot faster than you had initially thought? So today's video, that's what I want you to do. Make sure you get that done, because on tomorrow we're doing part 2, which is calculating, and then we're going to look at how to cut, reduce, pause things so that we can definitely reach our goals. Please leave a comment. Let me know how this is helping you, if you've ever heard this before, so that I know that we're on the right track. And if I need to recover something, I will in video 2. Again, thank you so much for joining me on today. I hope this helps you. Again, tomorrow we're going to do video 2, so make sure you get your homework done, and I will see you soon, because right now we are doing our best to live a life free of financial stress. Thank you and take care.